I can't really think of a better song to start off with for Exalted than We Are Number One.
I have a few.
Okay, there's quite a few, but, you know,
yeah.
It's funny.
Fair. It is a little loud in my ears. Is there a way I can... Is there a way I can, like...
You can turn me down, or I could just put it through Discord.
Hang on. Oh, I got it. I just had to figure out how to get out of the room.
It'll be quieter once we get started.
Now look at this bat that I just found. When I say go, be ready to throw. Go! Throw it on him, not me! Oh, let's try something else. Now watch and learn. Here's the deal. You slip and slide on this banana peel. Ha, ha, ha. What are you doing?
Don't need to roll dice yet.
We're number one. Still.
We're waiting every night to finally roam and invite newcomers to play with us. For many years we've been all alone. We're forced to be still and play the same songs we've known since that day. An imposter took our life away. Now we're stuck here to decay. Please let us get in, don't lock us away. We're not like what you're thinking. We are poor little souls who have lost all control, and we're forced here to take that role. We've been all alone, stuck in our little zone since 1987. Join us, be our friend, or just be stuck in defend. After all, you only got 5 nights and ready. Is this where you wanna be? I just don't get it. Why would you want to stay 5 nights at Freddy's? Is this where you wanna be? I just don't get it. Why do you want to stay 5 nights at Freddy's? We're really quite surprised that we get to see you another night. You should have looked for another job. You should have said to this place goodbye. It's like there's so much more. Maybe you've been in this place before. We remember a face like yours. You seem acquainted with those doors. Please let us get in. Don't lock us away. We're not like what you're thinking. We are poor little souls who have lost all control, and we're forced here to take that role. We've been all alone, stuck in our little zone since 1987. Join us, be our friend, or just be stuck in the bed. After all,
Drop it.
Here's to new beginnings.
Drop it.
Our illustrious champion returns. Welcome home.
All right, hello everybody, and welcome to the stream. Good to be back here. Cyrus, thank you so much for that resub. Almost 2 years there. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining us and coming by. This is Tides of Madness Exalted. I am Raw Zim. And we'll go ahead and turn it over to Ruby at this time for the introduction.
So, all across creation, there have been reports of more and more Exalted going.
Acclaim spreads.
More and more Exalted have been going insane. No one's entirely sure why or what's happening. The most recent and most disturbing news is that a group of 5 Dragon, the
Dragon Blood?
Dragon Blood, Exalted,
magnanimous
recently went
dispensation.
insane and completely wiped a small town off the map, and were last seen headed east towards the kingdom conquered by Neves.
It's Nevis.
Yeah, sorry, Nevis.
And it's also, it's very important. It is Nevis, King of Conquerors!
And the donation.
What are you
goal is
conquering?
great.
Yes, the donation goal has already been completed. Thank you so much, Toshime.
Oh my god, already? Okay.
Welcome to my life.
Yeah, you probably get used to that.
Alright. Cool. At this
Remember
time,
the-
I will turn it over to Uzim to what Nevis will do upon hearing this news.
So we've got some Dragon Bloods heading for my kingdom, my territory.
Yes.
Is there any news about whether they have an army accompanying them?
No one's sure?
Okay.
So this shouldn't be a wild hunt.
Is
They... What everyone knows is they went completely insane and completely destroyed a small town off the map.
rather unusual, but alright. For them. Well, do we all know each other yet? That is a great place to start.
That I was going to leave up to the party. I was going to turn it over to you all now to introduce your characters and set it up now.
Okay. Well, we probably should have figured this out before we got started.
Probably. Probably.
Are we all just here now? Or are we all just like, boop, you're here?
Well,
What?
Don't worry, I have a way I can solve this.
We've got a
The small
sidereal who could just be like, well, actually, even though I was on the other side of the continent, a month ago I was like, actually, I feel like something's going to happen over here. So I actually, instead of turning that way, I turned that way, and now I'm there.
yeah.
Right, Nestle?
Yeah, pretty much.
I can also open up a gate to go anywhere I want to in creation as long as I have enough time.
See, I don't have a solution for this, is my problem.
You just get dropped wherever we need you to go.
Yeah. I mean, you're from beyond the seals. You can literally have come in anywhere in the world.
This is
And
true.
in DMs, I had asked you how long you wanted to be in the world, and you said not long.
This is
so-
this is correct. I assumed you had something for introductions rather than
Yeah.
I'm here now.
Well, kinda. Like, the small town that got wiped off the map was Riverhold. It's just a tiny town, middle of nowhere, got completely destroyed by 5 dragon-blooded that went insane.
Okay.
Is that currently the premise we're working on? Is that there's just this town that's been obliterated and we're all investigating it, or?
That is there's also rumors that there are other Exalted also going insane in similar manners. This is the most recent and the biggest example.
Well, if Dragon Blood's going insane is the biggest example, I think we're fine. Well, idea here. Perhaps Mr. Robot got dropped in the middle of Nevis's territory. Would Lunar Exalted know about the other, like, do different Exalted know about the different Exalted types and stuff?
Depends on how well initiated they are, who they have. Literally, they might not even know what exactly they are unless someone explains it to them.
And also how high your City is.
Sidereals usually know pretty much everything because they actually get formal tutoring and instruction into it. Lunars usually also are trained and such in it to at least recognize the other Exalted types that were known during the first stage. They're pretty much the only groups though that usually have. Well, I take that back. Abyssals and Infernals would also recognize pretty much all the casts on site, because both of them get formal instructions usually beforehand too. Solars do not usually have that. Dragon Bloods do, but theirs is usually twisted by everything else is anathema and must be destroyed with holy fire. But yeah, most of the other exalts usually have at least a semi-small idea. It really depends on like how much training and such they actually put into it to pay attention.
Okay, so Nevis might have an idea of, you know, an alchemical just on site.
Alchemical is probably the one that very few, if anyone, would actually know.
Yeah.
Probably the only one who might recognize that one is an Infernal because Atosan was working on them when he was with the other Primordials who are aware of that.
Yeah.
Sorry, say that last part again, right before you said that part, a bit about Atosan.
Atosan made the started working on the alchemicals as a proof of concept for the exaltation itself to show that it could work. And the Yozai were aware of this. They did not know what the project was really, but they were aware of them, of Atosan making these things. So they would be aware of the alchemicals, so their chosen would likely know if it was important.
Yeah. Considering Cyril's specific mission, though, and if he were to come in on Nevis's territory, Nevis would probably know.
Alright. I should state though, let me double check this on my character sheet. I do believe he's got specific measures built in to be as stealthy as physically possible. He's got Stealth Excellency, and I think he has... Where is it? I do believe he's got something that basically also turns him invisible as well. Oh no, he doesn't have that equipped immediately. Never mind.
Okay, so
he is very stealthy though.
Yeah.
So he's not going to try to make himself immediately known.
Unfortunately, if you do pop up in Nevis's territory, he will know immediately.
Magical warding and all that.
Alright, so he knows that I'm there, but does he know where I am?
Yes.
At all times.
Inside of Nevis's territory, yes.
There is no stealthing in Nevis's territory at all.
From him.
Yeah, from me, no, there is not.
Yeah, it's the way the lunar charm works. It makes it so that he is aware of anyone who goes into his territory without his permission.
Gotcha. All right.
In fact, you are affected by, like, traveling through my territory without me giving you permission will subject you to basically harsh conditions.
Find harsh conditions.
Trying to find it again. I sent it to Ruby. Do you remember the words I used to define the territory, Ruby?
I
Ah,
don't.
here it
I
is.
know we. I know we named it.
Yes. It is with the qualities of inhospitable, overgrown, and stalking.
Okay.
Lightning Dragon. That is because Kerr has come to visit, and I'm coming through his mic a little bit when I'm talking. Well, yeah, when he's not muted.
So,
I should assume that because I am both robotic in nature and also an exalted, though, that this is not a problem for me.
It would still give you disadvantages on, or certain disadvantages on things.
but
Various
for the most part,
survivors.
like,
But
the area is like, it just seems like you coming into this area, it just seems to you like this area is just like that.
yeah. People, you would not have any idea that I know who you are. Though the stalking quality, I was thinking, basically, people that come into my territory without my permission will feel basically paranoia that they are being stalked, that they are being, somebody is watching them at all times.
Ah, so nothing is different. Gotcha.
It's like home.
For most people, it makes it very difficult for them to sleep and stuff. So it's a good quality to have when you're trying to defend a territory.
Yes.
It's a good quality to have when you're a robot that doesn't sleep and is constantly on edge anyways because of his mission.
But the idea here is perhaps you popped in like a month prior and I've met with you because, you know, Nevis, I don't believe I would be aware of what popped into my territory, just that something I haven't given permission to has.
Here, I thought we were going to have like a whole introduction and everything, and not just we've known each other.
I've gotten the very basics
Tales
enough
of
to
our
run.
endeavors proliferate.
Perhaps we should do actual introductions, or, well, okay, let's see what everybody wants to do. Who wants to just have everybody know each other already, and who wants to actually have introductions?
I'm good either or.
I mean,
Knowing everybody would be easier.
knowing everybody knowing everybody would be easier. Considering this is the first session, introductions would be nice anyways for everyone.
Introductions would be nice for both the characters and for the audience. Also, I should state that, like, having everybody know each other is going to be, to me, kind of difficult to do because that implies that we have this dynamic already, and I literally don't know who any of your characters are.
Well, we're not saying a dynamic, just that we know of each other.
Right, so we are aware of each other and each other's existence, so that when we see each other, we're not instantly like, should I be hostile? Should I be like...
Yeah.
Though I should state then, that does bring up a question, because it was kind of pointed out mid-character creation, some of our characters may just have inherent trifles with each other because of various caste systems and whatnot.
Everything
So
will be
then-
fine.
So then, should we have introductions to allow for a level of ambiguity between characters to know what they have and have not told each other then?
Okay, how about this? To make things easier, perhaps everybody else doesn't know each other, but make it easier for everybody to have a reason to come here. Nevis could have met everybody and made friends, and then everybody else could meet each other then.
Yeah.
Because otherwise there is that question of why would anybody else care about, you know, dragon blood coming to some random lunar's territory.
Yeah, there is that.
Oh, I could definitely think up a motivation for my character. That's not an issue on my end.
Well, then you can pop in without even knowing Nevis.
All right.
But this is for
yeah.
everybody else as well. If that sounds good to everybody.
Yep.
Nestle? Kerr?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that works. That's
Alright. Nevis will send out scouts to try and determine the exact location of the Dragon Bloods. I guess, Mr. Alchemical, it depends on where you want to pop up at. Or when, rather. Because if you do pop up in Nevis's territory, his immediate response is to march out with his army to investigate.
All right. Question. So this is in Nevis's territory.
yeah.
Okay.
The territory and the town that got destroyed is a little ways outside of his territory.
All right. So, therein lies, I suppose, an important question. It's not in his the town in question isn't in his territory. Would Nevis ride out entirely for just one individual?
Just one individual. He would not bring his army, but he would investigate himself because, you know, he is protective of his territory and his people.
All right. Next, I should ask, how big is Nevis's territory? Like, in regards to civilized creation.
Kerr could
So we have a photo. Hang on.
Okay.
We do have an image of the map of creation with Nevis's territory crudely drawn in there. Because I just went in with paint.
Yep.
Because I could roll it like a D100 and like be a percentage of this, that, or the other thing, whether or not he just shows up in Nevis's place or not.
Alright, so I posted it in the channel. I suppose I'll go ahead and post it in tabletop image for all of you on the stream as well. It's a little hard to see, but basically that blue line marks Nevis's territory.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And it definitely would make sense for him to potentially show up there or not, because he probably would want to be going to a wooded territory, but then again, I don't assume the Atojathon knows exactly how the landscape has or has not changed.
Yeah.
I'll be back in like 1 minute. Sorry.
So because of like the wooded percentage there.
But yeah, Nevis has he has a standing army raised from the people in this region. which, Kerr, you said this was like a massive area, right?
Yeah. Oh, this is huge amount of territory. This is a tremendously big amount of territory. Hundreds of miles.
Yeah, it's huge. Nevis has worked very long to maintain it. He has a somewhat tenuous hold over it, but he mostly relies on the mountains and such to limit entry to the territory.
Back, sorry.
So if you know Exalted history, this would be the Kingdom of Halta along with Gunzosha Redoubt.
Yeah, I got no idea what that means.
Yeah.
I especially doubt that I would understand any of that. Like, character-wise, because my character is not up to date on modern politics.
It's
Nevis-
part of the 100 Kingdoms, which are all separate territories.
Nevis basically, he claims it. Kerr, your mic. Sorry. Nevis claimed it. He has used his charm to actually, claim it as his territory. But there are still a lot of bandits and stuff that his forces are slowly wiping out, and it's tenuous. He claims it on maps and such. He does send patrols through it. But as far as actually owning it all, that's a little up in the air.
Okay, so he says he owns it, but like if there was United Nations, whether or not he had a seat would be for debate.
Yeah. And,
okay.
He does his best there, but
all right.
He's got to... The main place that he owns is that Lost Zarlath, which he has claimed for his capital.
Yes, and we renamed it... Hang on, let me scroll up in your chat, in private.
Silverhaven.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna roll 2 percentiles here. If it's below a 25, I spawned in there, and for the second set of rolls, if it is, you can call high or low, and that will determine whether or not my guy has wandered into your land at one point or another, and you were made aware of him. Does that seem fair?
Sure.
Okay. First roll. That's a 2. He spawned, like, next door.
So right next to Silverhaven.
Yeah, like, he walked out, and he was like, oh, hey, someone's here, and they're within walking distance.
Which is definitely a cause for Nevis to investigate. And even if it's just one person, them popping up right next to his capital, well, the army's already there. So,
all right,
yeah.
so this is an interesting scene to play out then.
Oh, stop.
So, anyways, in response to the Dragon Bloods,
Yes.
Nevis will have sent out his scouts to figure out their exact location and
Yeah, I'm
the
doing
size...
something in paint at the moment to show you exactly where they're coming in.
Okay. I'm just saying here, he would have sent out scouts to determine their exact location, how far, how long they may take to get there, as well as the size of their force, if it is really just the 5 of them, or perhaps an army as well. He is also sending out messengers to the others that he has met, presuming he would understand where they are located. or have a general idea of how to find them.
On my way.
I like to imagine... I can definitely see the fun of a sidereal. Literally, the messenger shows up to Nestle's character and he's just like... He shows up at my door 5 minutes before I actually send out the messenger. Oh yeah, I got your messenger, yeah, that was one timeline. Now this is what actually happened. God, they get confusing.
It happened in the future, which I suddenly made the past. And because I made the future the past then became the future for me, so I could make now, then, and then now.
Don't worry about it.
Makes total sense.
Some Doctor Who shenanigans.
Alright. So I'm going to send this over in the chat.
Generally post things into tabletop images so the viewers
Alright.
can also see.
I will send that there then. Doop. I did a little bit of... I took the... There's 2 X's on this image, one yellow, one white. The white is where the dragon-blooded will be entering your territory. And the yellow is where the town that was destroyed. Once I find the image again. There it is.
Our illustrious champion
Where it is.
returns. Welcome home.
So see, the thing is that Nevis sent out the messenger, but then Nestle showed up before the messenger was actually sent out, and so the messenger wasn't actually sent out.
Because time travel.
It was foreknowledge. Close enough.
But what?
There we go.
This guy writes the script and has time spiders as his own pets.
I'm just, throwing out stuff, Nestle. Obviously, you don't have to go with that. I'm just... It's funny because that's what, sidereals can do.
Right.
Holy crap, Toshime, you have gifted 174 subs.
Jesus Christ.
Just a few.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I sent the image. I sent the image.
Just 1 second, I'll check it. Just dealing with, Stream Raiders real fast.
Nope, you're fine.
Okay, so... So the white dot is the town they destroyed? Yes? Ruby? Hello?
DM's dead.
We win.
Chaos reigns.
We get no. This just means that we get to, level up.
Where are these being posted, by the way?
Tabletop image.
Ah, okay, there it is. Thank you. Just found it.
Ruby?
Am concerned.
You fell asleep?
Hope not.
Hope not, too. Ruby.
Sure, quick D. Uh-oh.
There goes
Yep.
Dia.
Maybe
Connection
their
issues.
internet cut out.
That's my guess.
Well, that's a problem.
Yeah.
I could role play Cyril meeting Neves for the first time.
Yeah, we could go. It's Nevis.
Oh, he's back.
She.
Sorry.
Is she?
Well, her icon's back.
Oh, I see that.
Yes.
She's not talking. Oh,
Yeah.
there
Hi,
you are.
my internet completely quit out on me.
we kind of figured.
So I had to reset my computer, and now I gotta relaunch everything. Give me like 2 seconds.
Well,
right.
luckily, the server end of things isn't, you just reconnect to that and we're good.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go ahead and roleplay the robot dude meeting Nevis.
Alright. So
So you've popped up in right next to Silverhaven, his capital.
right, I'm probably like in a wooded area just off the main road, but I can visibly see Silverhaven. And his first intuition is just to start walking towards it.
Nevis will already be heading out to meet, as soon as he sees that pop up, especially so close to the capital, alarm bells.
To answer your question that was asked just before everything quit out on me. The two X's are the important thing on there. The yellow one is the town. The white one is where they're entering your territory.
Okay. So we probably got a couple of days before they actually get in.
Yes, you got a little bit of time to prepare.
Okay.
I don't see any X's, unless this is a different map that you guys are all looking at.
Yes.
It was resent.
It
When
was
and where?
sent in tabletop images.
Yes.
So the yellow's where they're coming from. Was the yellow the town that got... The white dot was the town that got wiped up. The yellow's where they're coming from, and the white is where they're going?
X is
the town. Ignore the white dot. It was a misclick.
Okay. So the yellow town is the one that got wiped off the map by the Dragonborns?
Yes.
Dragonbloods.
Dragonblood.
Dragonbloods.
Boostwarda.
And the white X is where the Dragonbloods are right now?
It's where they will be entering the territory.
Okay. So we are made aware of them via them entering the territory.
All reports said that they were headed east to the border.
Gotcha.
Okay, so it might take a little bit for Toshime and Kerr's characters to show up. Nestle, are you just gonna be the yeah, I'm here before the messenger was sent out, or what are you gonna do there?
How about would I be hanging out with you? Perhaps?
Well, yeah, you could just have been hanging out at in my castle, my palace.
In that case, I would tell you a stranger's arrived just before he actually arrived. We should
And
go
then
check
I'd
him out.
see him pop up, and yeah, so Moriarty, you'd be hearing considering how close you are, you'd be hearing the alarm bells ringing, and probably troops quickly going to battle stations.
Gotcha.
As Nevis himself, in all of his glory, is heading out to meet you.
And he's just casually walking towards the town.
Halt! You enter the territory of Nevis, King of Conquerors. Who are you?
Introduction. My designation is SIRIL-01. I have been sent here by the Atochathon to facilitate communications.
And Nevis would most likely have no idea what that means, right, Kerr?
Probably not, no. What's your occult? Or sagacity, sorry, in this?
What was the question?
My sagacity is 3.
Probably not, no.
I could translate. So I would lean over and mention to.
Quick question, what languages do you speak, Zim?
I didn't realize there were multiple languages.
There's a lot of languages, yes.
I was unaware of this fact and did not pick any.
You would probably speak Low Realm. Everyone gets that. That's usually the language of the peasants and such. You might know Woodspeak and Air Tongue. That's the languages of the north and the east. I think, with your sagacity, that would be probably it. I'm not sure what reason Nevis would have to learn Old Realm, for sure.
What is sagacity?
It's your knowledge.
Knowledge.
Gotcha.
It basically encompasses all knowledge that your character knows. Supernatural
Gotcha.
knowledge as well as general knowledge.
But a Sidereal with sagacity 5.
Yes.
Then I will definitely translate for Nevis.
Yeah, because I just realized you're probably speaking Old Realm, because Old Realm is the language of Atochthonia.
Gotcha.
At least the languages that they knew of when they left.
Okay,
I knew
so,
I should have installed the Strange Tug Understanding.
Like, how many languages would I have access to? Like,
3.
Saying 3. Low Realm, Wood Tongue, and Air Tongue, was it?
That's what I would. Low Realm, Woodspeak, and Air Tongue.
Would speak, okay.
I believe. I have to look at exactly what it is, but they always go off of.
Yeah, is there a list somewhere for that? I don't know.
There is in the 3rd edition book.
Ah, okay. That's why I wasn't finding it.
Well, for the sake of simplicity, do we want to keep going with that, with, individual languages, or do we want to have Nestle constantly having to translate?
I mean,
Just assume that I'll be translating real time.
yeah, we can make it simple either way by saying he does this, or
Yeah.
we can just assume that we all speak the same language either way. Also, like I said, I need to work out how many of these things I can just have that are uninstalled. But assuming I can have at least one, he would have came here with a strange tongue understanding for one of the charms that he could switch out. So eventually I could just throw that in. Assuming I can have one. I don't know how many of these I could have.
That would be a question for Kerr.
Yeah. I'm new to the system.
So real quick, Kerr, I know that alchemical exalteds can have charms that they switch out for like upgrades and degrades and all that stuff. How many would I realistically be able to just have on hand to switch in and out?
None. You actually have to have a full-on complex to do it. It'd be like an actual camp you would have to go to in order to get your charms switched out. It's not a quick thing.
Okay.
The way it works is you basically get lowered into a vat, arms move out, and begin taking your body apart and adding in the new pieces.
Gotcha.
It's a very involved process. It can take hours sometimes, depending on how many charms you're switching out and everything.
Gotcha. I mean, it is a good. It's a good thing that part of my intention here is to establish a camp where that's possible.
Yes, you do. You would not have access to that yet, so you
Not
would
yet.
be loaded out with the gear that would be most relevant for your current mission.
I do believe after reading, I wasn't expecting to just be able to adjust my throat and slap something in and pull something out, but I wasn't certain if there were any that I could just have on hand available to do the process with, or how that worked.
Well, either way, there we go. So yeah.
Yep.
Neves will respond. What did you say? You had said you had come here to establish communication.
Facilitate communications, yes. Was his exact wording, but I'm not sure how much of the exact wording is going
Optimizing
through.
weapons charges, planning attack vectors, relaxing.
Dude.
This is a beautiful voice for my character.
Also, I updated the donation goal. Would be awesome to be able to do that today. Just saying.
Yeah. No, I didn't have a.
No, not the one for the game. I'm meaning, basically, All Might's voice actor is at a local game shop, and I'd love to go meet him.
Oh my
Okay.
God. Ask him if he'll join us on Exalted.
Oh my god, that would be awesome. Kurt, we definitely have to go.
I have to sleep after this game. I have to get up at 2 in the morning.
Sensation.
But
I
Toshime
think I
just
heard a donation.
donated for me to be able to do it.
I don't have the car.
Oh, right, that is a problem.
Uber.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to Uber. So anyways, back to the game. We are an hour in and have made 0 progress.
Literally 0. Maybe 0.1.
I didn't say 0 progress. Made some.
0.1.
Yeah, we'll go with 0.1, yeah. Out of 10,000.
Story-wise, 0 progress. But that's okay.
We have established a single part of the story between like 2 and 3 of the characters, and we still need to get to the part where everyone's here.
Yes.
So yeah, Nevis will Kerr. Okay. Nevis will brain does not want to work. You are here to facilitate communication. With whom exactly?
With this realm, I expect.
Answer. Answer. I intend to seek communications with any and all political individuals of reputable standing.
Something wrong, Nestle?
No, nothing at all.
Okay, good, because, Nevis has a very high opinion of himself.
I know that much, yes.
Continuation. I am also here with the intention of ensuring that re-establishing connection with the Atochathon can be done so in a safe and orderly manner.
With Atochthonia is what you would say.
Atochathonia, thank you.
Well, you have the honor.
Kind gesture.
Jeez. Thank you. Whoever you purchased the Humble Bundle?
Odd.
Oh, Odd Socks, thank you. Yeah. You have the honor of being in the presence of Nevis, King of Conquerors. This is Silverhaven. If you come to aid us, or otherwise in peace, then I bid you welcome.
Okay, so say that one more time.
If you come in peace or to
invade.
aid, then he bids you welcome.
Statement. I most certainly am here to ensure a peaceful communication.
Very well, but do be aware that everyone within my borders is expected to work. Where do your skills lie?
Objection. I'm already here on a mission from Atochathonia, by order of the Atochathon himself. I am not here for the subjugation under your ruling.
And yet your Atochathonia does not hold any power within this territory.
Response. That is why I am here to facilitate communications. You can think of me in many ways as an ambassador from Atochathonia.
Very well.
Addendum. I will, however, in good faith, still be available to provide assistance and aid should you prove to be a helpful ally to Atochathonia.
Very well. We shall see how this goes. For now, I must be off to another situation, which I will require you to come with me. As I simply do not know you and do not trust you, to be frank, for leaving you here within my capital with my esteemed self not present.
Affirmation. Of course. I would not expect you to leave a stranger completely unobserved within your own borders and under your heraldry.
Nevis will give...
Heraldry the right word?
Close enough for me.
Fair enough.
Nevis will give a curt nod and begin gathering. He will begin to have his soldiers somewhat stand down. They are to be on alert because, you know, there is a threat coming towards the borders, but it is also a few days away from the, you know, Silver Haven itself, even when they do get into the territory. So otherwise, he's gathering up his army and marching out to meet them at one of the forts that he has had constructed in those valleys.
Yes.
The one closest to the border.
Yeah.
All right.
And I suppose everybody else could possibly arrive or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's...
Ruby, you are really quiet.
Yeah, sorry. That better?
Yeah.
So, yeah, sorry. I've got a new headset coming soon. It's in the mail. So,
Okay.
that should be fixed soon.
Well, either way.
By the way, quick question about the Exalted universe.
Answer.
Do guns exist?
Only
Yeah.
only essence cannons and flame weapons do.
Yes.
Okay.
No solid slug weaponry.
Yeah, I asked the same question because of the goal that was met, actually.
Technically, some of the archery charms could count, but
Well, I do have revolving bow discipline, and I wasn't certain if that would count as like I wasn't sure if the age was advanced enough that my guy would just have like a machine gun built into his arm, or if it's actually just crossbow bolts or
Usually crossbow
Power.
bolts. No one's been able to actually create like a gun before. No one's ever tried. Essence weaponry just works better, though you can use some of those charms with flame pieces to shoot multiple blasts of fire.
Gotcha.
When you've got people that can go around shooting a crossbow as fast as a machine gun, you don't really need an actual machine gun.
Yeah, you fire one arrow and that arrow turns into like 1,000 arrows. You don't really need a machine gun when a simple crossbow will work.
You know, depending on the velocity and all the other factors at play, a crossbow bolt could be even more devastating than an actual bullet.
I will also note that one of my charms allows me to use anything I can pick up as a ranged or as ammo.
As you fire the cat.
Precisely.
I took that to an even further extreme of, yes, a blade of grass.
Actually, yes.
or you
But I-
throw your party member.
Or these grains of sand.
Hold on, let me just pluck a hair.
Actually, I was wondering if I could fire myself out of a longbow. Think about it.
You'd lose your longbow.
That's alright, there's lots of those around. I would just have a spare.
Hold on, if I just step here and then lift this up and then let go, yeah, here we go.
Precisely.
No. You could pull a cartoon and fire a longbow out of a longbow.
That's a better idea. Fire longbow first, then myself. I'll
But
grab
here's
longbow.
the thing. Instead of firing yourself, you just say, actually, I turned here, and actually I'm over there now. Or was over there all along.
But it's more dramatic to fire oneself out of a lung.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
He's not going for the he's not going for the utilitarian, easiest, objectively best method. He's going for the coolest method because that's what writes the best story.
That's right. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I say real quick, Kerr, why don't you go ahead and give a brief synopsis of the world a little bit for the viewers? I know you did it before in a previous video, so I'm not expecting, all out, just very brief.
Just the modern day, or just like a little bit of the past as well?
Just a little bit of the past.
So, long ago, there was nothing. There was only the wild. A sea of endless chaos and potential. Anything and everything could exist in the wild, but only for scant moments. And then from the wild, beings emerged. Beings known as the Primordials. The Primordials were ancient, vast, and powerful. And these beings worked together in order to create an island of stability in this sea of chaos. What would eventually be known as creation, the world. And from there, they created Yushan, heaven, upon which they would reside. They created the gods to maintain their worlds that they had created. And then they created different beings to inhabit the world. For different purposes, of course. And once they were done, they moved up to Yushan. Eventually, though, the gods got tired of slaving away for millennia upon millennia without any break. So they decided they wanted to be in charge. But they could not raise their hands to their primordial masters. But humanity, one of the only races that were created that was not geezed to be unable to harm the primordials, due to their inherent weakness and lack of power. It would be like an ant overthrowing God. But one of the primordials' own, Atochthan, primordial of artifice, creation, dogma, and science, came to the gods with a proposition. He would help them. And with their help, he created the Exaltations. Small factions of the gods' power that would seek out worthy humans and empower them. And with this army, now known as the Exalted Host, the Dragonbloods, the Solars, the Lunars, they went to war against the Primordials and eventually overthrew them. Some they killed, others they imprisoned inside of their king, known as Malpheus. And that eventually became the Demon World. Those primordials who survived but were imprisoned are known as the Yozai, and those who died are now known as the Neverborn, and from them the underworld itself was created. Nowadays, the Solars were cast down, murdered and betrayed. The Lunars were driven into the wild, surviving on the edges of creation and launching a guerrilla war against the realm, as the Dragonbloods rose up and took over creation, with the Sidereals working from the shadows to support them. Though not all Sidereals support the Dragonbloods, there are a few who wanted to help the Solars, but rather than kill them. But now creation stands as a crossroad as new Exalted begin showing up. Exalted that were never around during the first age. The Underworld's chosen, the Abyssal Exalted. The Yozai's chosen, the Infernals. The Gitlamane Exalted, exalted of a world that never was, and more are showing up. Some pushing the world towards chaos and destruction, others pushing it towards stability and peace. It's up to them what's going to happen with this world now.
Thank you very much. But yeah, Sirio, in a moment I'll bring up the map of creation itself. In a little bit here after Stream Raiders, I'll bring up the map of Creation itself. Creation is not a round world. It is surrounded on all sides by the wild. So, you know, trying to launch the world and move the world would deposit the world inside of the wild, which is a terrible idea. Truly terrible.
Especially if one of the towers broke.
One of the towers?
The cardinal directions.
Ah, yes. Yes. So, Moriarty, describe your character. Introduce them for the viewers.
So, Cyril is this humanoid-looking robot that has a silvery plating to them overall. They are humanoid in shape, but it's hard to say that they are humanoid in appearance because it is very obvious that they are in fact a robot, as you do with some of your alchemical Exalted. There aren't really a lot of features to him. Mainly just the fact that he was either made with the intention of imitating or full-on, in some forms, copying just the standard bipedal humanoid form. You know, his body is more angular than it is sleek and curved, though. Like, there's the obvious disposition between this metallic body and what a biological body would be, and at various points there are, of course, joints and connections which are way thinner than any biological body should properly have, as one would expect for, you know, the sake of efficiency and design, several parts here and there. But he has a rather sleek and round head with just various few lines of details. There is this, you know, there's this area for a mouth, but there is no proper mouth. Rather, instead, just a sort of design over what would probably be a speaker or something of the sort underneath. And two small slits that have small light coming out of them, which likely indicate the eyes, and some form of power source.
All right.
Stands at about 6 feet tall.
Alrighty. Nestle, why don't you go, since you're also present there?
So Varric is a sidereal. He's a weaver of fate in a way, or rather he was in a previous life. During an event of kind of the schism, what was it, a civil war basically between the different sidereals. A bunch of them were killed, and he happened to be reincarnated after having been killed in that event, and was found by another sidereal who had been exiled. And he learned under the tutelage and kind of had all of his life had kind of memories of his previous life, and had like vague nightmares, or rather severe nightmares and that sort of thing. But after he had exalted, he kind of came into his own understanding of himself, and was able to kind of vaguely see the successful path of the faction that he was with, in that Exalts could be kind of, what's the word? Not controlled better, but could be better integrated into creations that they didn't destroy it, which was the opinion of the Bronze faction, which the Gold faction was against, was to essentially just kill all the Exalted. That was the easiest route, and it's the only way to save creation. Well, the Gold faction had a different opinion, and the problem was the Loom of Fate didn't exactly give a very good path or description of how to make that come about. But Varric is able to kind of intuit the major events that need to happen for that to actually come about, and essentially allow the Exalteds to the Solars and all of them to live together. And in meeting Nevis, he knew that something unusual and very strange and very important was going to happen, and so he kind of befriended Nevis and got into his confidence, and is realizing now that the appearance of this alchemical and the events that are happening with the dragon blooded is kind of integral to the whole path that he's looking to find for creation. And he was convinced to try out being a beast folk because Nevis had that ability. So it's kind of a wolfish critter.
And that leads nicely into Nevis, King of Conquerors. Nevis is a Martin beast folk. He lived in the far northeastern reaches of creation with his tribe. The Dragon Bloods and the Wild had a battle that was coming, and Nevis and his tribe got caught in the middle, as it were. There was a lot of loss of life on all sides, but mostly from his tribe caught in the middle there. The Wild knew that they weren't part of them, but the Dragon Bloods and their army were more than happy to, kill everything. So, yeah. He obtained his lunar exalt during that battle, laying waste to both sides of to both armies, before quickly rallying his people and marching on the city now formerly known as Lost Zarlath, now known as Silverhaven, and conquering it. His goals for creation are to basically take control of all of creation, lead it into an era of peace and equality, rather than, the prejudices that are going rampant in creation. And yeah, that's basically the gist of how he operates. He leads an army that he calls the Adorable Assassins, because after all, what's more humiliating than being absolutely annihilated by an army named such, right? And he has claimed Silverhaven, as he calls it, as his capital. He's claimed a large chunk of territory in the northeast of creation. And he does, of course, have the ability to make more beast folk, and has been more than happy to share that with Nestle's character, Varric. Right? Yes, Varric. I'll learn these soon, I'm sure. Maybe. And yeah. So at this point, I guess we could say that one of the others show up to help Nevis. Kerr, you said you've got a means of teleporting, so probably you would get there first before Toshimi.
Yeah.
So go ahead and introduce your character.
Trying to think real quick. Because I now have the thought process of a joke here of what does he believe in? Flashy entrances? I'm picturing it in my head.
Well, while you're thinking, I will add in, Nevis is, of course, a lunar exalted. Those come from the lunar goddess. And, yeah, he is a full moon cast.
It would be a bright flash of green fire. Is how he would appear. He is a very pale boy. He wears... he would be wearing right now, he'd be coming from... Sorry, I'm doing math in my head! He would be wearing very nice emerald robes. Basically form-fitted to his body, like personally tailored for him. They're very, very like the color of jade is how they would look. They are tight enough to his body that they wouldn't get in the way of any sudden movements or say someone pulling a knife on him and trying to stab him, but they're very loose and flowing as well. Almost like they're like more of a liquid than a solid, one could say, especially with the light shining on them.
Question.
Yes.
When you say the color of jade, do you mean just a solid jade green, or does it look like the jade stone that has inflections?
Jade green.
Okay.
Emerald, specifically emerald, a very deep emerald green jade.
Gotcha. No, I gotcha.
He is small. He looks to be around 7 or 8 if one looked at him. Across his forehead, blazing in emerald light, are a pair of crossed swords. Just like the image in my avatar, if one wants to look at that. And his body would look very, very sort of broken. Like, his arms and legs look like they were broken and then never were allowed to heal right. Specifically, if you look at his legs right now, the way he's walking, his legs don't look human. Like, they are changed. Like, his feet almost look like they end in paws with bright green fur. It looks more and more human the more you travel up before it vanishes underneath the robes of his pants. But otherwise, he's a fairly simple-looking kid, other than the fact he also has a very, very large book in one hand that he does have open. It is made of moon silver and orichalcum with a sun and a moon on it. And around his neck, falling over both of his shoulders, hanging down around his arms, is a shroud of pure white gossamer silk, it looks like, that is very faintly glowing with its own light.
And this just kind of pops up in front of us, or
He appears there in a rush of emerald fire. He literally walks out of the fire, basically. The book open, and it's like he's like muttering something as he's reading from the book.
Cautionary. An armed individual has approached.
Ah, hello there. I keep wanting to say you're Teo, but are you Teo or Teo?
Teo.
Okay. For some, I could, yeah. Anyways. Ah, hello there, Teo. So good of you to have joined us.
And out of the fire a moment later, a very large emerald lion would walk out. Like, literally, it looks like it is made of jade and carved to resemble a very fierce-looking lion.
How long have Nevis and Teo know each other?
Good question.
And would I have met in my time with Nevis so far?
Teo's been exalted for about 2 years now. He spent his first year specifically training in Malpheus. And he spends quite a bit of time there, except when he comes back to help out Nevis or do whatever he needs to do.
So it's possible we hadn't met before?
It's possible.
Did we establish that we'd all kind of at least known about each other?
Teo might know you. He might not know you very well, but he probably would know you.
Okay, acquaintances then. That'll work.
Pretty much.
I'll nod respectfully to Teo.
Retraction. You seem familiar.
You just see the boy stop, staring at this before the book shuts. The fire goes out. Before he looks over at Nevis, what did you do?
Beat the devil out of it. There we are.
As he lifts up the hand holding the book, one finger pointing at the moonsilver creature. Where did he come from?
I was trying
Explanation.
to find a closing a book sound effect.
Explanation. I am from Atochathonia.
Yes, I know where you're from. I was being sarcastic. What is he doing here? How is he here? How are you here? He's not supposed to be here!
He is supposed to be here.
No, he's not supposed to be here. He's supposed to be in Atochathonia behind the eight divinity seal thingy.
He's come to be an ambassador to our realm.
Nevis just shrugs. He just popped up outside of the capital.
Nevis, we've talked about this. When things like this happen, you contact me!
Well, to be fair, he literally just popped up before I sent the messenger, or right after I sent the messenger out.
I'm 8 years old. I don't have to be fair. We're exalted. How long have you been here?
Statement. I have been here approximately, what has it been, an hour?
Would say a couple of days for the time, considering how long it would take the messenger to get to him.
Statement. I have been here 2 days, 4 hours, and 79 minutes. Not 79. 49 minutes exactly.
Oh, sweet Malpheus. Cecily can give me strength because if you give me power, I'm going to kill something. Anyway, okay, hi there. I'm Teo. He's going to look over at his line. You, go let them know. Yeah, this is big. As the lion vanishes. Oh,
Greeting.
God.
I am SIRIL-01.
Right, okay.
You know, that's gonna be a bit of a mouthful. How about we just call you Siri?
Observation. You forgot about the L.
No, it's called a nickname. You see, so you shorten somebody's name when it's rather long, so therefore, Siri.
Observation. You are phonetically using all the letters present except for the L.
Cereal. Okay, focus for me for a second, please. Ignore the big beefcake. No offense, Nevis, but you're not exactly the smartest when it comes to these kinds of things. What is your mission, specifically?
Total annihilation.
Nevis, the adults are talking right now. Why don't you go find some toys to play with and go play army?
Explanation. I'm here to facilitate communications between Atochithonia and creation.
By the way, I just want to state, Teo in my head was a sweet, adorable boy who's just, worshipping demons and such, and is basically their high priest. I was not expecting him to treat Nevis this way, but this is the way he's demanding to treat Nevis.
Yeah, Nevis isn't gonna be okay with that.
Addendum. I am also here to ensure the safety of the general region of creation, or at least that which is currently civilized, for potential additional contact and communication with Atochithonia.
Okay. So, how much do you know about creation?
Uncertain.
That's never a good sound.
Processing.
Where's your sagacity anyway?
Let's see. Commentary. There are many things that are known currently about creation. However, there are many things which we believe must have changed due to our absence being... How many years has it been?
Over 1,000?
Yeah, it being over eons long. Eons is correct, right?
Pretty much.
Yes. Okay.
They would call them ages in this case. We're in the second age now.
Gotcha.
We
Then
were in
being
the third
over
age.
an age long.
No, the third age would be... Hang on.
Well, I guess would the Atochithonians know about ages themselves?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, actually, they would not. No, they would not.
Because if an age was never really declared, it's just time frame, which would be eons.
There's thousand years or centuries.
Okay, translation. You know nothing since the seal went up. Got you. Okay.
Correction.
Where do I begin?
I do have several years of data post-seal being created due to my establishment upon creation.
Yeah, you know next to nothing. Come on. I'll get you up to speed. Oh god, this is going to be... God. Nevis, what plans do we have?
You were a valuable distraction.
What was that?
Nevis, what plans do we have in the future right now? What are we planning to do?
I was pretty sure you knew this already, but conquer all of creation, unify them all, and march against the wild.
I mean, like in the next, day.
Right now, we are awaiting the arrival of these dragon blood. I have defenses being set up. The fort here is being secured even more.
Right. I need to vent some frustrations. Where are they?
It would be best if you don't go out there to them.
I don't need to. I just need to know their general location.
The scouts put them about a day's journey to the west. Direct.
Okay, everyone. Who wants to go on a field trip?
I think technically you're joining us on our field trip, Teo.
No, I'm the one driving.
Ah.
Query. What would one consider to be a field trip?
We're going somewhere. I need to vent some frustrations.
Statement. We were already heading somewhere.
Yes, now you're heading somewhere faster. And in style.
Yes, but I am currently awaiting the arrival of one more ally.
It's going to take me a few minutes to gather the will necessary to do this.
So, Toshime, how far away from Nevis's territory do you want to have been?
I should be arriving about now.
No, I'm just waiting to make the joke. It's like, Teo was supposed to be such a sweet, adorable boy, and he's just like, dear God, I am done with this shit right now. I was going to have such a nice day eating candy and proclaiming the love of the Yozai to all the soldiers, and now I have a fucking alchemical here! And my bosses really, really hate your boss.
And I'm about to make this all much more fun. My character is Zhuja, who is Solar Zenith.
Oh, one quick question, because I haven't actually messaged you about this, Toshime. Would you have taken Nevis up on his Beast Folk offer?
No.
It comes with bonuses.
It wouldn't quite work with Solar.
How so?
Because their bodies can't be manipulated by charms like that.
This would
I don't think it would work for me either.
This would allow it. Well, yeah, that's because I didn't bother offering it to you, Moriarty, because I don't think it would have actually worked on you. But
yeah, I am metal.
It does actually say that everybody can be affected by this. It's just if you're not willing, then you revert. But otherwise, yes, you could be affected by this charm. If you chose
no, thank
to.
you then.
Okay. I mean, it gives you an extra point of soak. You get bonus dice for various action. I'm just, it's a beneficiary. Okay, carry on.
Okay, and I am from the town that used to be known as Thorns. And I got people out of there before the Neverborn took it over. And I am well known
a little
from
bit
that
about
region.
that stuff. I know that Kerr explained it a bit, but expand on it a little for the viewers, please.
For which one?
Well, I was asking
Thorns.
Toshime to do it, but yeah, explain Thorns, explain Neverborn, etc.
Because
I just lost my note page. So if Kerr could for a minute.
Thorns was something that basically changed everything. Recently, I believe it was in the last 5 years that it happened, if I remember correctly. Actually, probably within the last year or two. Thorns was a great trading city in the southeast. Vast amounts of trade went through it. It was a huge, huge city. And then it died. What happened was, this was the first offensive by the Massive Winters. He is a Death Lord. He is one of the 13 chosen of the Neverborn, and one of the ones who helped create the Abyssal Exalted. He created a great engine of destruction known as Juggernaut, a undead creature so large that it was larger than basically the City of Thorns itself. It towered high enough to block out the sun by those who fell within its shadow. And with it, he was able to sack the entire city, wipe out every dragonblood that lived in that city, and he did it within like 2 days and conquered it. The Neverborn are the dead primordials who seek the absolute destruction of creation. Because as long as creation exists, so will the underworld. As long as the underworld exists, they cannot die. They cannot fall into oblivion like they so crave. Also, I have a kitty on my lap.
And I got people out of there before the fall.
Well, describe your character.
Cool.
And how you'd show up and stuff, you know.
Looks like I'm a little bit late to the party. As I walk up and with my hood up and...
I just imagined like Teo was deeply focusing and gathering power here, and he just stops when he hears that voice, and he just looks over and glares.
Hey, Teo.
Hi.
Looks like we'll be teaming up this time.
Don't know if your sighs are actually coming through.
They did.
Okay.
Nevis?
Yes, Teo.
Do we really have to bring him?
He is a friend and ally, so yes.
You can kind of see one of Teo's eyes twitching slightly. Let's not push
Speculation.
it that far.
Speculation. Based on the behaviors of the small one, I would not agree.
This is gonna
He's
be fun.
He's a priest of the unconquered sun, the traitor who betrayed primordials and broke the world. Forgive me for not necessarily liking him.
Query. This is the same unbroken sun that was known to be creating solars, correct?
Unconquered sun, but yes.
Unconquered, sorry.
It's because of them and their stupid rebellion that creation broke and that everything went to shit. I'm just trying to fix things so people can actually have a decent life here.
We are all trying to make life better here in creation. We all simply have our own ways of doing so.
He's riding in the back of the cart.
I don't mind.
Oh,
Anyway.
I'm gonna love this so much.
Storyteller, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Since we're just basically in scene time right now and it doesn't really matter, would I be able to gather the 7 will I need in order to cast my spell? Which would
Yes.
basically just be a sagacity power roll.
You'd be able to do it.
As you see Teo deeply focused before he lifts a hand to the sun, and a lasso of emerald fire lances out towards it, going on for what seems forever before it goes taut. And a moment later, you hear the sounds of hoofs as a blazing, burning horse that looks like it's made out of pure sunlight comes running down, along with a massive, basically, chariot that looks like it could hold like at least a ton of weight and people. Get on, we're going. I have to vent some frustrations. This is the Chariot of the Blazing Sun. It can carry up to 1 ton of cargo and passengers, and it can travel to any point of creation in less than 5 hours. It can also travel into any other realm, such as Malpheus, the Underworld, or the Wild.
Is the wild really another realm? Isn't it just kind of like that way?
Once you get into it, it's basically chaos and insanity. It can take you to a specific point if you know of it.
Gotcha. Within 5 hours.
Yes, we can travel literally anywhere in creation or any other world in less than 5 hours. But I can only carry a ton of weight between cargo and passengers.
No, only a ton.
So
This is probably one of Tio's most powerful and useful spells he has in the book.
I will be right back. I have to go to the bathroom.
That's fine. I
And
do
I'll-
have one more introduction to do as well, which Teo's introduction have reminded me of. Well, 2,
All right.
I guess. Kerr. He's been gone so long, he's not used to it again. So yeah. So Nevis has a Martin familiar, of course, by the name of Marticus. And he is an adorable little pine martin that I love and cherish, and if he died, somebody else in all of creation really will just die. But then there's also Ferris. Ferris was one of the Dragonblood leaders of Lost Zarlath before Nevis came and took over. And Nevis simply made the offer. You can join with Nevis or be struck down along with the other corrupt ones. But Nevis saw a bit of honor to Ferris and decided to bring him on. And Ferris is Nevis's manservant. I don't know if you want to give more introduction for him, because Kerr is actually going to be playing Ferris.
Bueller.
Kerr? I said I was bringing up Ferris.
Ah yes, the Dragonblood, who is very good at making tea.
Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to give him more introduction since you'll be playing as him.
He is a Dragonblood. He is always impeccably dressed, and he is basically the perfect manservant. When people question why he is a Dragonblood and like why is he just being basically Nevis's manservant, is because he basically says Nevis deserves it and is worthy of it, and he is one hell of a butler. And you don't want to see what happens if you make him angry.
He'll make you sandwiches.
Mm-hmm. Which will somehow also change you so much that you will bow down and worship Nevis because of how good those sandwiches are.
Sandwich.
Now, before we do head off, I feel like we need a little bit of tension relieving here. Ferris, if you would be so kind as to prepare some small refreshments, and then we will be underway too.
It shall be done, my lord. One moment. As he... Oh god, he does have that charm. So he would be able to make perfect sandwiches, tea, and biscuits without any, seemingly any materials, any tools, and literally just whip out the plate within, like, 15 seconds.
Statement. I do not eat or drink.
We will have to fix that. You really must try these.
Objection. Any modifications made to my person that are not of my own consent could result in various forms of termination.
You'll void your warranty.
Believe me, you will be fine with me. My food is simply the greatest. After all, any butler worth their salt should be able to cook such fine food.
Qualification. If you require me to eat your food, then I will need a suppository for food. I will need the proper materials to be able to create modifications to myself safely.
You mean to say suppository?
What?
Just
What
wondering
did
if
I
you
say?
meant to say suppository.
What did I say?
You said suppository.
Is suppository not?
Don't think that's the word you meant.
goes up the butt.
God
Yes.
damn it. I'm bad at grammar.
No, I mean if that's the way you imbibe food, that's how. I mean you do you, buddy. That's all good.
I
No,
kind of like.
He doesn't imbibe food. That's the thing.
No, I like this idea. The idea that, he's
Is it
just that
repository?
disconnected
Repository.
from organics that that's what he, kind of mistranslates.
You need a way to masticate.
In my head, this is the inspiration for him. I just shared the image.
Where's the image?
It's in Tides of Madness.
Ah, very good. Yes.
Black Butler.
Hmm.
Though, I do have to wonder, did he take Nevis up on the Beast Folk offer?
No.
Damn.
Did you say he was a Martin?
That's the other one.
That is his familiar.
Gotcha.
I posted the inspiration in tabletop image.
And then in the combat tracker.
I don't think we got anything in there. Well, whatever's in here would have been left over. Yeah, it's all stuff that's left over from last.
Query. Nevis, you stated that this one was a worshipper of the unconquered sun.
I did not. That was Teo.
Shit. I'm already making so many mistakes.
You're fine. You're just, you're doing good.
But the thing is that I kind of like the idea because it lends to this. Yeah, he's completely disconnected from, where creation is now. And organics in general.
Now that one just makes him seem like unobservant, like without knowing who told him what.
And yes, I do gain my powers from the Unconquered Sun.
Twitches.
Observation. If you were to gain your powers from the unconquered sun, would that not make you a solar?
Yes, I am.
You just see him stare at you for like a long second.
The
It's kind of unsettling because he's not even moving. He's just sitting there, staring. He doesn't blink, so like...
And I'll reach my hand out for a handshake.
this interaction that's going on with the Pokemon music in the background is hilarious.
And welcome back.
Well, anyways, Nevis is going to sit down at a table nearby and begin partaking of the tea and sandwiches and gesture for everybody to join.
Can't we eat on the ride?
I do believe that amazing food such as this should be enjoyed sitting here and enjoying it without the rigors of travel. I'm sure you would agree, Ferris.
Indeed. My food should be enjoyed in the utmost setting. Anything else would be unworthy of it.
I stab a sandwich with an arrow and hop in the back and start eating.
Merrick will join Nevis.
As Teo grabs 2 sandwiches and climbs up into the cart beside him and starts nibbling on one of them.
This entire time, he just... head is locked on...
Zhuja.
Zhuja. Gotcha. His head's just locked continuously on Zhuja as he gets up into the cart, not seeming to really need to watch where he's going.
I'm now imagining this, despite everything Teo says and acts with Zusha, it's like if anyone fucks with Zusha, he will nuke them, because the only one allowed to fuck with Zusha is him. Yes, Zusha is my nemesis, and I will show him that my way is right. And that he will reject his false god and realize that the Yozai are the way to restore the world. He is mine. No one is allowed to hurt him. I will make him see the light. Even if he drives me crazy.
Either way, we might as well enjoy our food since the army needs time to prepare to travel.
I don't think the cart can travel the army.
The army's coming with us.
Teo's gonna lift his hand. We don't need an army. We can just go take care of this really quick and then come back and find a real army for your army to play with.
Where are you taking us, by the way, Teo?
To kill those Dragon Bloods.
Oh. Well, that's alright then.
I figured, tactical nuke from orbit.
Maybe we ought to find out their motive before we, just kill them all?
Do you really want to engage 5 Dragon Bloods at once?
Yeah, seems like fun.
Does the term strategy not mean anything to you?
Agreement.
Oh,
the
Go ahead.
solution to immediately point to acts of murder and destruction are concerning.
They're Dragon Bloods. They hardly count. No offense. None taken, I understand. And they did wipe out an entire town. I happened to get a very nice tea from that place. So, I mean, kill them. It's going to be very difficult to find something else from them.
Speculation. You bear an animosity towards Dragon Bloods.
I am a Dragon Blood. No, I bear animosity to the people who kill my favorite tea shop. They were very nice. They gave me great deals every Thursday.
I believe that strategy would be to maintain a defensive position here. After all, a castle and wall would be far more defendable than the open battlefield.
I mean, you're not necessarily wrong there. That's very effective against pretty much anything. But, Nevis, you have your secret weapon.
Very well. He will finish sipping his tea and get onto the cart.
As Teo's going to actually jump up, squee before landing on his feet. Gonna go, ow, 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 that hurt.
You okay?
Legs hurt. Ow. Half broken still.
Suggestion. If required to do so, perhaps you could spare at least one of these dragon-blooded individuals so that interrogation proceedings may commence.
I concur with Cyril. And I will also be climbing into the chariot.
I don't think you understand how Tio's powers work.
Sorry, what was that? My headset fell off.
Basically, I don't think you understand how Tio's powers work. He does more
Tio's just going to smile very innocently and adorably as he holds his very large book to his chest. That's like basically the size of his chest. What? Powers? Me? Everything's going to be fine. What's the worst that could happen? As he looks over at Varric when he says that, and yes, I can say that, my strand of the Luma Fate is gone. So I don't piss off the spiders with that.
We'll see.
Well then, shall we be off?
Let us be off.
As Teo is going to grin, get up, move over to the horse, take the reins, and snap them as we take to the air and start flying, as basically almost like we were in the night sky itself.
How heavy is Cereal?
That's a good question.
Most alchemicals are buoyed by essence, so they weigh about the same as a normal person.
I was gonna say, even considering that he is made of metal, given that it's just silver and that he's meant to be quick and sleek, probably only like 200 at most.
They usually, the alchemicals are buoyed by the essence that empowers them. They don't weigh actually much more than a normal person.
Also, out of curiosity, could your legs be healed? Or is it like part of your... Okay.
So in order to go into sorcery, and Teo would probably have shared this with you guys, in order to go into sorcery, for each circle of sorcery that you are that you are initiated into, you have to make a sacrifice. The higher the circle, the greater the sacrifice you have to make. Teo is initiated up into the Adamant Circle of Sorcery, which is there's 3 circles of sorcery and 3 of necromancy. The Adamant is the highest for sorcery. He is initiated into that, and he is initiated into the 2nd circle of necromancy. So he has had to make 5 sacrifices for that in order to be able to do that.
Someone rolled a dice.
He gave up the memories of his old friends, The memories of the ones who originally raised him when he was a slave. He gave up his ability to age and grow older. He sacrificed his very strand of destiny, is now basically considered a being outside of fate, like a demon or a Rakshasa within creation. So literally anything he does disrupts the loom of fate. Because literally reality says he should not exist. Anything he does fucks with it and causes huge tangles and basically a giant mess. And the last sacrifice is his broken body, his arms and his legs and such will never heal. He basically supports himself through essence and with one of his charms that he has, which allows him to take on a demonic form. That's how he's able to move around and such.
Okay.
He gives up a lot for his sorcery. But in exchange, he can do a lot of really, really cool things when he has the shroud he wears and the book he has in his hands. Also, Nevis, by the way, I lied. I can craft artifacts right now. So I'm probably busy right now also crafting your lance.
Woo!
But, just to let you guys know some of the spells that I do know that we would have used a lot. I have Ivory Orchid Pavilion, which allows me to basically, at will, summon a palace that can seat and feed 1,000 people. And it lasts for a week per casting.
Nice.
That was fitting.
It's a very handy spell when we need to rest and Nevis's army needs a place to stay. I can literally just summon it. And I can summon demons. I can summon every circle of demon.
Well, shall we then get this party started?
Or
Yeah, so
we're going to keep to the air as we fly over the area where they were last seen, and I'm going to look towards our solar and our sidereal to see if they can figure out where these people are. Just their general location. That's all I need.
I'm still not really on board with wholesale killing all of them, but
They killed an entire town of innocent people. That's not okay.
I do have to agree, because it would be good to know why.
that's what I'm getting at.
The issue is restraining a dragon blood is going to be extremely difficult. Restraining 5 is going to be near impossible if they're strong enough to murder an entire town.
Recitation. I had earlier suggested that we kill the majority of them and save at least one for interrogation practices.
We can see if one survives. One might get lucky.
I think that's the best we're gonna get.
I just don't want anyone to die. You kind of see Teo's shoulders kind of clench up a little bit.
Except the 5 Dragon Bloods.
Allow me to reiterate, people that I care about. I knew some of those people in that town. They were nice. They were good people. They didn't take slaves. They didn't abuse other people. They just were trying to make do and live out their lives. That's all. They just wanted to be happy, to accomplish their dreams, and then 5 Dragon Bloods showed up and murdered them for no reason. As far as I'm concerned, they deserve to die. In probably the most brutal and painful way I possibly can. Believe me, I know a lot.
So if someone had directed these Dragon Bloods to attack them, you wouldn't want to know who?
Musing.
This is the part that's interesting because Teo's primary virtue is compassion, which is what kind of drives him say and do this, but also the Infernals are driven. They are absolutely, by their exaltation, they are driven to take revenge, to destroy and break everything that they see as wrong. As like a Solar's exaltation drives them to greatness, an Infernal's exaltation drives them to destroy.
Hence why I'm trying to temper that a little bit.
It's like he literally cannot really help it. Plus, compassion and loyalty are his main virtues. These are people he cared about. I mean, he wants Nevis's goal to happen, and these people were Nevis's citizens. He knows them. He knew them.
Actually, they were outside of Nevis's territory.
Well,
Okay,
Going to
let's
be.
stick with this. I can travel anywhere I want, and he probably went with Ferris.
Musing. Based off the parameters that you yourself have set, what will you do in the instance that the individual Dragon Bloods are individuals you know and care about?
Let me just say, revenge is a bitch. As he's going to look over at Serial. So, the others have seen me do this once, but I want to show you something, and I'm going to use them as a demonstration. If that's acceptable to all of you, as he looks at Varric, Zusha, and Nevis.
Nevis will just kind of wave his hand. Like a, go on.
I just need to know where they are, or at least their general location. Like within a mile, say.
Would they have wandered in, or would they have made it into Nevis's territory yet?
By this point, yes.
Then Nevis can give pinpoint accuracy.
Oh god, oh god, oh god. I'm sorry, I just realized something, Nevis. Your territory is unstoppable. If I'm with you. Oh god. As Teo is going to stand up, as the chariot is going to start.
I'd like to point out real quick that Kerr is currently pacing in the living room, very excited to describe this. It's adorable.
The chariot is going to take off in the direction Nevis points us to. He is going to ensure that we stay very, very high up, so it'd be completely unnoticeable without powerful magic. And he is, once we get close enough, probably within a mile of them, is what I would need. I'm going to take some time, and I can have the chariot move a little bit to keep up if they're moving. And I'm going to take...
You're within a mile of them at this point. You can look down and see that they're setting up camp.
Allow me to show you, everyone, what happens when you piss me off. As Teo is going to begin gathering his will. Since we are not in a rush situation, can I take as much time as it takes to gather 10 will here?
Yeah, they haven't seen you.
As Teo focuses, he begins to speak softly as he opens his book, and the pages begin glowing with an emerald light. As he extends his right hand, a small emerald sphere forms. And he walks over to the edge of the cart, right above their camp. And he just speaks a word. A word that, as everyone hears it, it's like a needle through their mind before they are unable to remember what that word was. and he drops the orb and lets it fall. As the emerald orb falls, his cart is going to start taking off, basically as fast as it possibly can, away from this camp. As the sphere of emerald essence falls towards the camp, and once it basically, they would see like a very small emerald light falling towards them. And once it hits like right above the camp, like just hanging over it, it detonates in a towering, verdant blast of energy that basically goes out in all directions. As far as the eye can see, like, it goes out to long range for this, and the shockwave goes out to extreme range. It lasts for 10 rounds, this explosion. And for every round that they are within it, they take 5 aggravated damage unless they roll 12 or more successes on either integrity or physique.
I think I figured out the name of the chariot.
What's the chariot?
The Enola Gay.
It's a spell called Chariot of the Blazing Sun.
I was saying the Enola Gay was the one that dropped the nuke, or one of them, in Japan.
Oh, yes, my history major kicked in. So they would have to start making integrity or physique rolls to survive this basically emerald fire that's literally trying to eat them alive. This spell typically results in a smoking crater and shattered countryside. The only thing that usually survives it are artifacts or imperishable objects, like hearthstones or other such items.
I hope
No,
they
you
didn't take any
bet-
hostages.
You,
So,
you
DM.
killed him. You killed him.
Theo just literally flops back in the chariot, just panting as the book literally like flops over his face.
Doorbell, I'll be right back.
So was that a good example?
What? As he kind of peeks out from behind the book. What?
They went boom. And how does Nevis handle his territory being destroyed?
Oh, that's a great question.
Analysis. A large-scale detonation dropped upon 5 individual targets in a small and enclosed area, resulting in major ecological damage. Assessment. These tactics are very sloppy.
Well, there's one thing that I'm trying to do.
I do have to agree, it is not ideal that my territory was damaged in this way. But very well done regardless.
Query. What was the intended end goal of this demonstration?
Teo's going to look over at you and just smile. Fuck with creation and us, and I'll wipe you out. Be our ally, and you'll be rewarded for it.
Contemplation. Who was this intended message for?
Atouchsonia. Oh, God. Whew, that really takes something out of you.
Conclusion. You seem to have misinterpreted my purpose for being present.
No, I don't. It's not that I don't trust your purpose. I don't trust the people who sent you. It's in the nature of people to try to take what they want, especially if they think something is weaker than them. I'm here to demonstrate that we're not weaker than you guys, and that it's best if you guys play nice.
Indignation. We are not here under hostile terms or pretenses. I myself am under direct orders to not attack unless directly attacked, or to aid and assist in the protection of others.
How's the Touchstone doing?
Hold on.
That information is classified.
See, Teo would actually know this, other than my Sagacity 5, but he literally works and was trained by the people who know him, his siblings. He would know about Touchstone's disease, likely.
See.
And the fact that in order to keep it under control, he required both the wild and creation's infinite resources to maintain himself.
Analysis. This question seems to have a different intention than the presented question you are giving me.
How is a Touchstone doing?
Query. What prior standing, reputation, or relation do you have with a Tochathon?
I work for his brothers and sisters.
Warning bells should be going off in your head.
See, the way I take it here is this. The only reason those seals would be broken would be because either A, Atochthon thinks it's safe to come back and that the Solar Exalted would be gone. Doubtful. B, something drove the people he took with him to break the seal. Most likely, Atochthon's resources are running out and you cannot maintain his body and he is starting to die. Which means you would need both the wild and creation's resources to stabilize him, which would be the reason why you would break the seals.
Clarification.
Right now, you're trying to get the lay of the land in order to find out what is the best way to accomplish such goals.
Clarification. The seals for Tochathon are not yet broken.
You're here, which means the 8 seals are broken. That's the only way that happens.
I thought they could be here without breaking the seals.
Nope.
Oh shit.
Not if you're from Touchstonia. The seals had to be broken. Which they can do very easily from that side. The seals just can't be broken from creation's end. They have to be open.
I'm guessing that they'd slap up the seals again, though.
Nope. Only Touchstone can do that, and he's asleep.
Gotcha.
Note, you were likely told some of this, would be my guess.
Yeah, I could have sworn when I was making the guy that I asked if I could pass back through the gates without destroying them, or something. I could have sworn this conversation was had at one point or another, but I guess not.
Yep. No, the gates would have to go down.
Gotcha.
You would be able to go back and forth once the requisite machinery was built, but otherwise it'd be one way for now.
For now.
And then the easy way to solve this is just push him out of the cart. Haha.
I just don't want this world to be invaded and destroyed.
Okay. So, how much longer do we have?
Usually another hour.
Okay. So, I'm gonna have to call it early today because I have a birthday party to go to, and I forgot about it completely.
Are you sure it's not because Kerr just wiped out your entire plan for the session?
No, I can continue without that. I do have a
He's just joking with you.
Yeah.
no. Actually, because of the goal was met, I can actually continue the score.
You say continue through Discord?
No.
No, you wiped out the entire, bit I had to continue the story that I have planned, and then... But the goal was met, which is actually a boss, so...
So, I just want to share something because I think some of the viewers might appreciate it and chuckle. So, Toshime, do you remember what you did during my game?
Multiple things.
I wanted to feel what it was like. Also, I wanted to give our new DM I figured the first session, it's best if you understand, never plan too much, because your players are very good at wrecking them.
Yeah, no, I do have to go, though. I am being yelled at by my aunt.
No, you're fine, you're fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to call it here, though. See ya.
Alright.
Oh, real quick, little interaction. Directed back to Teo. Appeasement. My mission here is solely of a political nature, though I do have the amendum of making sure that the lay of the land is indeed safe. There's no plans currently for invasion or hostilities between any individuals of this land currently.
Let's keep it that way and we're gonna get along perfectly. This world's gonna belong to Nevis.
Alright. Well, Mike. Alright, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining us for our return to Tides of Madness Exalted. We will be back next week with more, hopefully, provided nothing goes wrong, you know. At least I plan to be back next week. I am going to probably take the rest of today off from streaming, because I want to ease myself back in a bit more than just jumping in all the way in. This week is also going to be a little up in the air. I'll be setting up the schedule tomorrow, but it may not actually stick just because, you know, can't really tell how mood is going to be with the death of my grandma and stuff. So, yeah, thank you all so much for joining. Check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We got links for our Discord, Telegram, Twitter, Patreon, all those things there on the website, as well as down in the description below. Check out our Patreon at patreon.com/zgfgaming. Consider supporting over there. Thank you to my patrons, donators, and subscribers. it is very much entirely because of your support that I'm able to continue bringing these streams to you all. I cannot do it without you guys. So thank you for keeping the streams alive and going strong. But yeah, thank you again so much for joining, and I bid you all the most fondest adieu.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye bye.